La 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 lava, chicken. Steve's lava chicken, yeah, it's tasty as hell. Ooh, mama, now you're ringing the bell.
What's going on, everyone? I'm Jaren, and today we are talking about a Minecraft movie. Here we follow four misfits who are suddenly pulled through a mysterious portal into a bizarre cubic wonderland. And in order to get home, they must master this world while embarking on a quest with an unexpected expert crafter. Alas, the questions, the conversations about who, what, when, where, why a Minecraft movie has finally come to fruition. And just like any other video game IP adaptation that really is in the early stages of development, many studios attempted to make a grab at this, especially while gathering all of their other writers to kind of pen a particular direction and also a vision, as well as their selection of directors, and to bring about how to conceive a proper Minecraft movie for the fans. You know, at one point they brought director Sean Levy, who's responsible for Deadpool and Wolverine, to come in, but a lot of his creative differences definitely butted heads with what the studio wanted. And, you know, that's kind of the tough thing when it comes to Hollywood and pleasing the fans, is that you're not only making movies for people who are familiar with the IP, but you're also making a movie that's also going to introduce it to a lot of casual viewers or people who are actually non-knowledgeable about the game. But that's kind of the thing. Is it digestible? Is it for the fans? And they finally settled on director Jaren to bring this movie to life with this very imaginative and pixelated world. And he's responsible for movies like Napoleon Dynamite and Nacho Libre. And if you aren't playing the video game or familiar with the original source material, then I highly recommend that you immerse yourself in the endless hours, modifications, and chaotic video content that is just plastered over YouTube. And this leads me into something that I wanted to address before we get into this review, but I am neither a fan nor a gamer of Minecraft in any way, shape, or form. I really have gotten into this particular IP because of my girlfriend Leanne and her nephew Ethan. They have definitely showed me some of the creative modes that are in Minecraft, as well as watching a lot of other YouTube videos about what people end up doing, all these little things that they could tweak in order to just be creative. And I really thought at that point it was more of a creative simulation model. And, you know, I didn't know that there was an actual story. It's just this massive world with just endless possibilities and imagination that I could tell that there was a lot of care that was put into every frame and every detail for this movie, because my girlfriend and her nephew were just going completely off, bruising my shoulder with excitement because there was just so much spectacle, so much wow factor. When you're watching other content creators' videos or just watching other people play video games, I got so used to watching the POV lens of the mining, the crafting, the building, and I was actually really giddy to see all of this done in a third person when it came to the film, to watch these characters really discover how to master this world, how to mine, craft, build, and just kind of see how much of their imagination that they could flex, especially when it came to having to build a house. You know, they had to gather a lot of wood, so they would just punch down a tree trunk. There was actually a hefty serving of action in this movie that I think where the non-fans and casual viewers are going to get some entertainment out of it is just a lot of the journey that they go through and a lot of the obstacles that they have to overcome. And, you know, I'm not too familiar about, you know, the Piglin characters, you know, them being the biggest antagonist group in the entire movie. And I'm not sure if they have an integral portion of the game, but when it came to creatures coming out of the Nether, I was really hoping to see more of maybe like the Endermen. I hope I got that title right. Or maybe even the dragons. I would have just loved to see more boisterous creatures, and maybe they're just saving that for the sequel or something. Other than the action exceeding my expectations, this movie was surprisingly funny. I mean, if you're really digging a lot of the awkward humor that really just happened in Napoleon Dynamite and Nacho Libre, I think you're really going to enjoy what they have here. Don't get me wrong, it's juvenile humor, but I think that Jason Momoa, Jack Black, and Jennifer Coolidge do just enough to keep that going. I love the rivalry between Jason Momoa and Jack Black. That was just utterly hilarious, especially with them really testing the waters with each other about who's the most knowledgeable, who's the strongest, or who's more of the leader to really navigate their way through their entire journey. And just some of the situational and physical humor just had me in stitches. Just the image of Jack Black riding Jason Momoa, and I will not get into context about that, but that image is never going to leave my mind. And then we have Jennifer Coolidge, who doesn't have too much to work with, but her little meet cute with the villager was just too good of a subplot to just pass up. The script is paper thin, and that's because the structural template of this story has been done to death, whether it's the intellectual IP of a video game, a board game, or even a toy that has finally come clashing with the real world. And you know what? I just think that it's not as groundbreaking or impressive, especially when you have a massive and expansive world as Minecraft to do more and to be completely immersed in this world. Maybe it's just me being exposed to a lot of video content, but I would have loved to just watch this movie completely animated, somewhat like the Super Mario Bros. And, I just wasn't too much of a fan of the, 3D CGI animation that met the live action at some point. Maybe I'm on an island on this one, but we could have just maybe kept the likeness of Jason Momoa and Jack Black by doing maybe like a motion capture and the rest be CGI 3D animation. But I mean, that's just me. I just would have wanted to see a fully animated movie to see how far we can push these, imagination and possibilities. There's not much of a clear-cut main character for this movie. To be honest, I really thought it was going to be the characters of Henry and Natalie, who are brother and sister, played by Sebastian Hansen and Emma Myers, but they aren't. And I really thought that they wasted a lot of the potential to have more of an emotional impact, because we get to really get introduced to this brother and sister and address their difficult living situation without any parental figures in their lives. And we never come back to full circle about, just them strengthening their bond, with how their experience in the Minecraft world was going to change them and probably make them better people than what they are in the real world. Again, with Jennifer Coolidge, she doesn't really have much to add to this movie. She's not really given too much to work with, but when she's given the spotlight, she really delivers. And then we have Danielle Brooks in this movie, who has a lot more time than Jennifer Coolidge, and we don't really get too much of a character development out of her. We don't get much of an arc, and she's just kind of there. She's an afterthought. And she technically becomes the layman people's person, where she is reacting, she's questioning about a lot of the things that are happening around her, and that's pretty much about it. And you know what? Some of the best humor that really comes out of her is just the way that she would question the logic and just the way that the world of Minecraft really operates. Like, it's in the trailer, but there's a moment where, day becomes completely night in seconds. And she was like, did that feel quick to anybody else? And then we have Jack Black, who's collaborating with Jared Hess since their efforts in Nacho Libre, which was, 19 years ago? And it's the same high energy and quirkiness as you would expect Jack Black to play a character from the video game named Steve. And I'm not sure if Steve has much of a personality in the storyline, but we just get to see Jack Black play Jack Black in an iconic blue shirt with the same just inflections. And of course, his original tunes. I mean, you got Steve's Lava Chicken, which is pretty catchy. It's become the new Peaches. It's going to be a hit on Spotify. You just watch. I think that Jack Black has got his Hollywood career and his future just made, especially with the recent 10 years where he's done Jumanji sequels, the Super Mario Bros, and now this. I mean, he's just taken Hollywood by storm. And you know what? I'm not gonna lie, it's made me miss his R-rated comedies. So I'm really looking forward to your Anaconda movie next year, bro. But surprisingly enough, considering his really big introduction and the hefty exposition list in the beginning, he is not really the main character to really lead this film. Jason Momoa, on the other hand, just so happens to lead this movie just as much as Jack Black, and I wasn't expecting that at all. Honestly, when I saw the trailer, just like my expectations with Fast X, I was afraid that he was going to tank this movie. I was afraid that he was going to be the most insufferable element of the film, but it turns out that he happens to bring a lot to the table with his character, Garrett the Garbage Man Garrison. He is a former video game champion, and he has held on to that title since the late 80s, and he's really insecure at where he places himself in the world, hence the compensation of why he's always got to be the best one. Life is not too kind for him, so he is just constantly striving to be worshipped again, trying to be idolized, and he really just comes off as a tool bag. But I mean, other than the fact that he has those weird, awkward bangs and the pink attire, I mean, there's a lot to his character, especially watching his character arc presented and then transformed throughout the journey that is really worth watching, worth unveiling, and oh my God, his mistranslation of the Spanish language had me in stitches. And I also love his rapport with Jack Black on and off screen. It just makes me hope that they work together again one day. Overall, this is a fever dream for children, the gates of ecstasy for a lot of the fans, and a critic's worst nightmare. It is no excuse that these bratty teenagers are causing a disruption in movie theaters, but I do give them props for actually going out to the theater for this one because they doubled their budget back and it has become #1 at the box office. I think the 4th highest grossing PG movie ever. And you know what? I may not be the target audience for this movie, and this is by no means a game-changing film for video games, but I had a lot of fun with this one. That's in all honesty. I was not expecting that at all. And, you know, you can guarantee that before the summer hits, we're going to get an announcement to a sequel. That's happening, whether we like it or not. Well, all right, guys, that's all I get to say about that movie. Go ahead and check it out if you want. Look forward to more reviews. I'm Jaren Ugbanawa. Again, I want to thank you guys again for taking some time out of your day to hear me talk some movies. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you guys at the theater.